Rick walks through a bright, inviting home, praising its natural light to a buyer on the phone. Yet beneath the calm sales pitch, distant sounds hint that something, or someone, is still there. When he reaches the bathroom, he finds the body of the previous tenant. Despite a corpse and a gun on the floor, Rick doesn't flinch. Even when an officer tells him to step back, he snaps. He's on an important call. For Rick, nothing, not even a dead body, should interfere with a sale. He's a real estate agent for a bank, handling foreclosed properties, a job that demands a cold heart, which he has in abundance. He explains to police that the tenant asked to use the bathroom after hearing of the foreclosure, and that's when they heard the gunshot. Rick even asks them not to write a harsh report, fearing it could lower the home's resale value. Then he moves on to his next case. Now we shift to Dennis, a young man working tirelessly for his family. Despite long hours and grueling construction work, he can't escape debt, over $80,000 owed to the bank, with foreclosure set for that afternoon. Under the blazing sun, Dennis works hard, but when the court calls, he rushes there, bringing his son, Connor, along. The judge, sympathetic to his effort, grants him 30 extra days to pay part of the debt and avoid eviction. Unfortunately, the next morning Dennis and Rick's paths cross. Police surround Dennis's home as Rick arrives with a new court order revoking the extension. Desperate, Dennis hides a small pistol on his ankle. Rick's offer is cold and simple: $3,500 in cash if they leave immediately, or arrest if they don't. Connor watches as their belongings end up on the street. That night, they stay in a motel. Dennis's mother suggests moving to Tampa to live with her brother, but Dennis refuses. The next morning, he confronts Rick, hoping for a chance to fix things. Rick dismisses him, saying he should have paid on time. Then Rick gets a call about a problem and offers Dennis $50 to help. They drive to a property where the previous tenant wrecked the plumbing and filled the place with sewage. The stench is unbearable. Seeing an opportunity, Dennis volunteers to clean it for $250. He endures the smell, thinking this must be rock bottom. Rick sees potential in him. After the job, he fires his foreman and gives Dennis the position instead. By day's end, Dennis earns honest pay, though from filthy work. The next day, Rick calls Dennis to fix his air conditioner. While working, Dennis notices a city map covered with pins marking foreclosed homes. He overhears threatening calls from people Rick has evicted, explaining why Rick constantly changes his number. After finishing, Rick invites Dennis into his car and offers him a high-paying job. Dennis starts to understand Rick's ruthlessness, though he still can't forgive him. Suddenly, Rick slams the brakes near a house with stolen utilities. The culprit, Frank, admits he did it to keep his family going. Rick doesn't care. Frank promises to disconnect everything, and Dennis helps. They realize their sons know each other from school. Because Dennis defends him, Rick decides not to report Frank, but warns that if the bill rises even $1, he'll have him jailed. Later, Rick takes Dennis to a luxury home and asks him to remove the kitchen cabinets and appliances for resale. Dennis finishes quickly. Rick pays him $3,200 and offers a permanent position. Rick isn't just a bank agent. He owns a real estate company and profits from others' misfortunes. For Dennis, it's a huge opportunity, if he can live with the guilt of working for the man who destroyed his life. He accepts, feeling as if he's sold his soul. In the following weeks, Dennis works on repossessed homes, even joining Rick's shady schemes, stealing fixtures and reporting them as damaged, knowing the bank will cover the losses. A month later, Rick finally tells Dennis he's ready and gives him his next assignment, delivering a foreclosure notice to another family. Now, Dennis has changed from a poor man who lost his home into a man in a suit who evicts families from theirs. Although the job gives him enough money to support his family, he still can't get them out of the hotel, and his mother has no idea what he really does. Rick is proud of him. The kid has talent, and the next check exceeds $7,000. But Dennis says he doesn't want the money. What he truly wants is to give his family hope that everything will be okay, and he asks Rick to help him get their house back. Rick admits that he's the one who bought it. If he gives Dennis the keys, Dennis can't leave until he pays back every cent of his debt. It feels like selling his soul, but Dennis accepts the deal without hesitation. The problem is, Just doing small jobs like stealing equipment won't pay off the debt in time. So, he has to start evicting families. His first eviction is the Tanner family, who still look exactly like they did the day they lost their home. They're honest, hardworking people drowning in debt and mortgages. Eventually, Dennis becomes the very person he hated just months before. That family curses him, as do the neighbors, but Dennis stays strong. He has a family depending on him. In the following days, he keeps evicting people from their homes. But his breaking point comes when he's forced to evict an elderly couple who don't even understand what's happening. "It's like evicting Aunt May," he says. This isn't right. A few days later, Rick takes his golden boy to meet Mr. Freeman, who offers a massive deal, 1,000 houses. The biggest deal Rick has ever seen in his entire career. For Dennis, that means a 6% commission if he can pull it off. Enough to make him rich in less than 5 years if he keeps doing what he's doing. But to win the deal, they have to beat Ortiz, Rick's direct competitor, who's threatening to steal the contract. So Dennis comes up with a clever idea. He follows Ortiz, and somehow every house Ortiz visits ends up being robbed and trashed, ruining his reputation within weeks. The deal swings in Rick's favor, who proudly praises his protege, reminding him of Anakin surpassing his master before falling to the dark side. Days later, it's Connor's birthday. They decide to celebrate at the hotel where they used to stay, since Connor's friends are still there. That day, Dennis's double life unravels when a man he once evicted recognizes him and starts chasing him, leading to a heated confrontation. The shouting turns into a brawl, and Dennis's family faces a horrifying moment on what should have been a joyful day. A week later, Rick meets with Hanan, Mr. Freeman's right-hand man, who tells him Ortiz failed to protect his agents, so the deal now belongs to them, but with one condition: they must evict 15 homes per month. Non-negotiable. The contract will only stay valid as long as they meet that quota. That night, they throw a big party at Rick's house to celebrate. At the end of the night, Dennis finds Rick by the pool and they talk about his house. Dennis needs stability for his family, and Rick agrees to set up a line of credit, letting him pick one. Excited, Dennis chooses a luxurious beach house and plans to surprise his mother, but her reaction is far from what he expected. Dennis finally confesses that he works in the eviction business, and his mother is shocked. Her son has been taking homes from poor families, and now wants them to live in one of those houses. She refuses and decides to leave for Tampa to stay with her sister. Connor chooses to go with her, leaving Dennis alone. He's lost his family, his morals, and his self-respect. But at least he has a house by the beach. Before he can even process it, Rick calls. There's a problem. Frank is suing Rick for harassment. Apparently, Rick never forgot about the stolen electricity case and kept pursuing him. Now Dennis has to help Rick destroy Frank's life to make him drop the lawsuit, starting by taking his home the next morning. Dennis sees Frank and his family in court. Even though his conscience tells him Frank is a good man, he still delivers the papers, and Frank loses his home. Alone in his mansion, Dennis drowns in guilt and spends the day drinking heavily. The next morning, Rick picks him up. When they arrive at Frank's house, they see police cars, not the usual friendly kind. The officers were called because of a domestic dispute. When Frank spots Dennis through the window, everything spirals out of control. Karma finally arrives, armed and furious. At that moment, Dennis realizes something. He asks Rick how he got the court order so fast. Rick admits the document is fake. He's been doing it for years, even to Dennis himself. Realizing that Rick ruined his life with forged papers, Dennis understands he's done the same thing to Frank. He steps outside and tries to talk to him, despite the danger. He admits it's all his fault, that he lied to Frank and regrets everything, but he promises to make it right. He'll testify and help Frank get his home back so no one gets hurt. Frank gives up, puts down his gun, and is arrested. When the detectives arrive, they interrogate Dennis, who agrees to cooperate. He even names Rick as the mastermind behind it all and offers to provide every piece of evidence from their illegal business to bring him to justice. In the end, Frank's son approaches the police car and looks at Dennis with quiet gratitude, a look that tells Dennis he finally did the right thing, even if it means he'll likely end up in prison alongside Rick, and with that the story ends here.